I'm going to show you how to make a Google form in this video. So what you want to do is you can go to your Drive or just go to your little Google app button, click More. I have Google Forms here. If it's not here, you can just Google it in the Google search bar and you can find it that way. So there's different templates if you wanted to do templates. I usually just start blank form. When you change the top here, it'll automatically change your title. So say we're doing an exit slip for 11/29. So already it automatically changes. Always, you can put a little description if you wanted to. You don't have to. I always start with first name. This is how you choose your answer. So short answer if they're doing their name. You always want to pull this toggle over to make the question required so they don't skip it. This is how you add another question. And then always, you can just do last name, change it to short answer, required. And then a new question. We're going to say, who's your teacher? And this is where you want to have actually multiple choice boxes. So you could say Mrs. Walsh, Miss McLachlan, Mrs. Not a Mrs. yet, Miss Pinola. Okay. So always make that question required. Let me show you how to do some fancy things. So the next one will have their first question. What is a synonym? Woo! Let's learn how to spell, and it does have spell check in here, so you can see what is a synonym for happy. Okay. Always put your question number in the question so that the kids can see it. It's easier for them. Multiple choice will make it. We'll say glad, sad. You can always use this add other option. This just has them, they click other and they get to type in a response. If you didn't want that, you can just easily get rid of it by clicking on the X's. If you wanted to change or edit the responses, you just type in it. If you wanted to get rid of it, choose an X. And let's do one more. Okay. Then remember, always click required. New question. Let's do something fancy. Who is in the image? Okay, and now you can add a image to your question. So let's just say search for an image. We'll just put Anne Frank. All right, so now you have her in here. Okay, and you can put Anne Frank, Otto Frank, or Margot. And always just put below so they know where to work. Oops. And you can just Control Z. If you do Control Z, that brings back any edits. All right. So required question, so they see this. All right. And then you add a new question. If you want to just drag this, you want to put it underneath the picture, that's all you have to do. You can always click these questions and drag them anywhere you want to. You can reorder them. Let me show you a different, so we're on question 3. Check the boxes that contain adjectives. Okay, so you can do checkbox, and usually it like kind of reads what you're saying, so it already does it for you. So you can do a checkbox. We'll say pretty, running, store. Okay, funky. There we go. So they're able to click checkboxes. Let me show you. You can always add a title or description. Let me show you what descriptions are. So this is good, say, if you wanted to say, in the passage below, what is the main idea. Here you can add a description. So go to description, and then this is where I always put passages, blah, 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 copy and paste. There you go. And then you could put your answer choices here, use it as required. Say you want it to, say you're using the same passage and you don't feel like copying and pasting that description over and over again, click this duplicate button, and there you go. You duplicated the question. All you need to do now is just change this to 5 and change your question. What is the problem? Okay, so then you don't have to completely copy and paste, so saves you some time. You can always add videos. I've never used this tool or this tool, but I'm sure it's fun and you can do it. Let me show you different. You can have long paragraph if it's really long, open-ended. If it's a short answer, use short answer. Drop-down menu, you can create a drop-down menu. If you wanted to do on a scale of 1 to 5, scale of 1 to 10, you can do that. You also have multiple choice grids for matching. Yeah, and there's all different kinds of add-ins. So you can do choice eliminator for anyone with IEPs or modified assessments. They do have different add-ins like Flubaroo. Okay, now let's go ahead and make this pretty. So if you go to color palette, you can choose a different color, or I always like to choose this because it has all different kind of clip art pictures. Work in School is always a good one. They have all different fun stuff. So let's do something fun. Let's do wedding, just to have fun. So here we go. I like this. So I'm going to select, and you'll notice the background changes. Another thing you want to do, go to your settings. Always just unclick these. You want your students to be able to access this. You don't have to have any tech issues. So just make sure all these boxes are unclicked. Click Save. All right, let's preview our form. So click here. You'll see a window opens, and this is what the students are going to see. All right, so okay, looks good. Make sure I can check multiple. Okay. And then these were just something I wanted to show you. You have submit. And there we go. It's a nice preview. It looks good to me. So you're ready to send this out. Before you send this out, you need to make sure you're sending out the right link. If you send this link out, if you just copy this link and paste it, this is what the students are going to get. They're going to get the edited version, and you don't want that. So you need to make sure whenever you want to send out this link to the Google form, click send. I always click the hyperlink and I shorten it. And now this is what the students are going to see. So let me show you. So copy, paste. Okay, so you want to make sure student preview, and it is. This is the student preview. So let me show you what happens if you just take this, if you just go to the URL bar and take it out of there, it's going to look like this. So you don't want to send students this version or else they're going to change it. It's going to be really confusing to them. So make sure when you send, click send and get the hyperlink here. If you wanted to share this with a teacher, you can just use this link, or you can always just click add collaborator and you can add it by email. If you want any add-ons for Google Forms, click add-ons. Remember, they have lots of cool things like Flubaroo, fun stuff like that. Okay, so before you want your students to fill this out, you want to do an answer key. So this is what I would do. I always just click here. This opens it up, so let's make an answer key. Answer key, and just pick whichever one you want it. What's a synonym? Happy, who's in the image below, and Frank, pretty, funky, and then just, it doesn't matter for these last two. And then click submit. Okay, so now you have your answer key. That's going to really help you in the long run with Flubaroo. You do your answer key right away. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my editable form, and you see I already have my response came up. Now you can look at this in a summary way, individual way. I think the best way to do it and the best way to import it into your gradebook so you don't have to go in between is to create a spreadsheet. And this is where we're going to do Flubaroo, so it does help this way. So click Create Spreadsheet and just click Create. And if you're wondering like, oh, how do I go back in my Google Drive and find it and organize it? If you go to your Google Drive, it's always going to be on your landing page. So you notice I just created these two. So I can just move them from here, or you can move this one wherever you want to do. The only thing about Google Forms that's kind of not so fun is that you can't organize it right on the spot with the form. You kind of have to go back to your drive and find it on the home page. It's always going to be on your home page. It populates there, and then you can organize it to whatever folder you want. Okay, so I have my response. Here's my answer key, and this is where you're going to open it to see who's doing it, and then this is where you're going to use Flubaroo. Okay, so let me show you how to use Flubaroo. So I'm just going to do a quick one, really quick. Sally Test will make her name. Mrs. Walsh will be your teacher. She's going to do really good on this. Maybe only get a couple wrong. All right. Okay, so now you see she's going to pop up. It comes in right away. So now let's grade it. Okay, so we're going to go enable. Okay, let's click out a lot of that fun stuff. Now you're going to click grade assignment. All right, here you're going to figure out, okay, this identifies a student, teacher, identifies student. So now these are 1 point for each one. Maybe if you did the check boxes, you want to do 2 points for each one they checked. I'm just going to keep it 1 for now. Okay, click continue. We want to choose that answer key. Click continue. And voila, here we go. All right, and you can see, obviously you would have more than this, but if all of your students were answering and they answered the way Sally did, this highlighted one is the one that the students didn't get the most. So this is really great for seeing data individually and as a whole group. If you wanted to maybe add in a section, maybe you want to say 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 12:30, that's fine too. You can add that in to help you kind of filter through and see the data better. If you wanted to do anything with this data, manipulate it, I wouldn't manipulate it on the sheet. I would just copy all of this and plug this into a different sheet so that you can play around with it so you don't mess up this one. You can always go back. Say if you want to regrade it, you can regrade it. I always like to kind of, once I'm going through it, like, okay, this is the last one that answered. When I come back to it, and I see other submissions underneath here, like, okay, I need to regrade this assignment and specifically see who. So it just gives you a good idea. All right, let me know if you have any questions about that. All right.